Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Rox coming to you today with the review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 15, Episode 16, which is also the season finale. So let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys. So the show kind of starts in the future, and then it backs up, and then it brings us back to where they were. So March 3rd, I believe, 2023, is when we find out that Drew and Ralph have filed for divorce. Or I'm not sure if they filed for divorce right now, but this is when when the cast started recording again, because apparently there was more shit that was going on with Ralph and Drew. It had hit the blogs that they were divorcing. They have Drew in the confessional, and the producer is asking her the questions like, have you ever kissed a girl? And she says that no, she has never kissed one. I mean, you got to admire the fact that Drew sticks to her lies, honey. Drew will not admit to the fact that she did kiss LaToya. All right. I mean, hey, gotta love the stick to itness, don't you? But after this episode, I was just like, I don't even really care about Drew or Ralph and what happens with their marriage. And I don't really even know who to believe, what to believe at this point. So that's kind of how the show started. They show also that Kenya is doing spending time with little Brooklyn, and she's talking about Kenya Moore Hair Care. Now we know that Kenya Moore Hair Care, the salon, she was opening the salon out here in Atlanta, and her biggest gripe with the show this season is that they have completely wrote out her storyline of her opening her shop and everything. And so them showing just this little part of her doing Brooklyn's hair probably feel like a slap in the face to Kenya. I don't know, you guys. What y'all think? Y'all think Kenya is coming back? Now, I don't think I see Kenya turning down coming back to Real Housewives of Atlanta, but maybe is she feeling like they might get rid of her? And that's the reason why she's kind of getting ahead of this. And I know some people have been saying in the comments that they feel like maybe Kenya feels like maybe the writing is on the wall, that she might be on the outs. So she's kind of complaining and saying all this ahead of time. Either that, or she's throwing her weight around. Like, they never gave her a spinoff, and, they don't give her nothing to work with on the show. And, she got to work with people like Courtney, who is annoying, but we'll talk about Courtney a little later. But, like all of the things that that Kenya has been saying about the show, Bravo and all, we've never seen her be like negative like this. And kind of I'm not comparing her to Nene in any kind of way, but it reminds me of when the relationships start to go left or start to get sour, then you start to see people complaining more about production. All right. And we saw it happen with Nene gone. Okay. We see Kenya is starting to do the same thing. Not really sure how this is going to play out for Kenya. All I do know is that we have never seen Candy go against production. We've never seen her say like bad things about production or anything in person or anything like that. Candy is the one that's had the most spinoffs and has worked with them a lot. So I am wondering if that is even the best approach, like throwing around your weight, because we'll just have to see. But yeah, it is interesting that Kenya is saying so much negative about the show. But anyway, we see Kenya with the little baby, doing her hair and all that. We see Candy and Todd talking about the movie. And side note, I do plan on reviewing the movie, so hopefully you guys will get the review this week. Now, let's start with the ladies and their individual little stories that they got going on. First, Sonya. We see Sonya going to visit Dr. Jackie. She has invited Marlo there to join her for her checkup, because Ross is out of town and she's a little nervous, and so she's got Marlo. And Marlo said that she is your girl, she is going to be there to support. Okay, so Marlo shows up, and Dr. Jackie comes in, tells her that she's 7.5 weeks. She was just like, oh my God, what am I going to tell Ducey? I already told Ducey that, I got to make sure I get these dates right. And Dr. Jackie was like, I would refrain from really involving Ducey in anything until we get past like the dangerous stage, where you could miscarry. And she's like, it's too late. It's too late. He already knows about it. He asks every day, his little sister, he wants a baby sister and all of that. So Dr. Jackie tried to warn her. I mean, really, 5 weeks is kind of early to start announcing. I mean, I understand you're very excited and all of that, but especially with Sonia's advanced age, not calling her old, but she is older when it comes, you know, she's geriatric pregnancy, you know, so maybe she needed to slow her roll a little bit, but she was excited, and she knew that Ducey would be excited and all of that. She thought everything was going to be fine. Anyways, Dr. Jackie tells her, I don't even think she was 7 weeks. I think she was 5.5, like almost 6 weeks pregnant, you know, which is around the time that you find out that you're pregnant. So Sonia even found out before you normally would find out from the doctor that you're pregnant. Dr. Jackie was surprised to see Marlo there. So like, this is your friend? I was like, Dr. Jackie, don't even try to make sense of it. Jumping over to Sheree, we see Sheree and her friend. They sitting around talking. They talking about the sip and see, and the friend is just like laughing at the fact that Sheree had both Bob and Martell there. I was just like, what you laughing at, honey? Them just her friends. Okay, yeah, that's her ex-husband and her baby daddy. But her and Bob get along fine, and then obviously her and Martell get along fine too. Yeah, I know Martell bought her a couple of purses and everything, but Sheree is definitely just the friend girl. Y'all saw the trailer for Love and Marriage Huntsville, didn't you? And I don't really know if it's just creative editing or whatever, but it looked like Martell has now put it in his mind that he gonna try to get Melody back. Is that what they look like they trying to do over there? And I was just like, I mean, completely, Martell ain't thinking about Sheree's storyline and what she doing over there on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay? So the whole thing is just stupid. And it's funny to see. Tiara supposedly knew about Candace. Tiara is the friend of Sheree. So apparently she knew about Candace. Sheree's kids knew about Candace, but Sheree said that she didn't know. Tiara said that she thought that Sheree knew, and Sheree was like, no, nobody ever told me. You know, Bob didn't tell her, obviously, because she was a baby that came from an affair, obviously. But her kids supposedly didn't. Yeah, listen. I'm not even going to give any of that energy because I think that Sheree is lying. I just don't understand why the kids would not tell their mother. I know y'all was down in my comments talking about because they grown and it's not her business and all that. I'm sorry. I just don't believe that. She has girls too. You mean to tell me that them girls didn't tell their mama that they damn daddy had a baby on her? Absolutely not. People are saying, no, it's going to be hurtful and everything to her. Sheree don't care about Bob no more. Okay? So you can tell me now, today, that my ex-husband from years and years and years ago had a, illegitimate child on me while we were married. Like, that's not going to hurt me any more than all the shit that he already did when we was married together anyway. Like, Sheree has gotten past that and gotten over that. So I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. And it's just one of those unnecessary lies. It's just be like, what y'all lying for? But I mean, it don't matter. But no, I don't believe that Sheree didn't know about Candace. Over to Kenya, we see Kenya at home with Brooklyn and her father is there. She said that Brooklyn and her father just met some months ago. So Brooklyn ain't really too sure of Papa. Okay? And I thought that was interesting. I said, now, did Kenya and her father fall out? I know that they've always had like a rocky relationship, but her dad has always been around. So it's been interesting to me that her father doesn't know her baby, and her baby is over 3. Like, her baby is big now. It's just sort of like, why is it that he didn't know? Years that he didn't know about? I mean, he never met the baby? That's interesting as well. But I mean, okay, I guess they back on track. He's there visiting. Honey, Brooklyn was like, I don't want to sit next to Pop. I want to sit next to you. And Kenya was like, don't be like that. Okay, you gonna be nice to your Papa. Anyway, Kenya tells Papa that, she's thinking about having another baby. He was like, oh my God, you do not need another baby. You almost died last time. She was like, yeah, that's why you get a surrogate. And then the dad was just like, oh, okay. She said that, yeah, she's got some embryos with Mark, and they're legally hers, so she can kind of do what she wants to do with them. So she's thinking about getting a surrogate mother to have the baby for her so she doesn't have to risk her life. And I mean, I guess the dad seems to be okay with that, because he was like, either that or adoption. But he's like, absolutely, you don't need to have another baby come through that body. So Kenya just has to talk to Mark about it. He don't really have no say, but I guess just out of respect, she would still need to talk to Mark about it. And the dad was just sort of like, good luck with that. But Yeah, I think that Kenya probably is moving forward with that. I wouldn't be surprised if Kenya showed up soon with either a baby or letting us know that her surrogate is about ready to have the baby. I can see it coming. Then jumping over to Marlo, we see Marlo at Lay Archives, and she says that it's doing well. You know, she's doing very well. She is the stylist for Tammy Roman. She even works with Cynthia, styling her for certain shoots or movies or whatever. And that she also was featured in a magazine. So yeah, she's doing very well. Things are good. She has invited Scott Lee down to Lay Archives. This is his first time coming there. You know, she's trying to make it seem like her and Scott Lee have a relationship. I don't see any sparks, any chemistry, anything between her and Scott Lee. I just am not buying this. This doesn't look like the type that Marlo would even be with. Okay, but I mean, he seems cool enough. You know, I'm sure he's probably her homeboy or whatever. He is doing the job that he needs to do, you know, posing as the possible boyfriend of Marlo. While she's sitting there talking to Scott Lee and showing him around Lay Archives or whatever, she gets a text message from Candy saying that she's having a wrap party and she would like for her to come. You know, she's invited her, and Marlo tells her that she will be there. Okay, and I guess, you know, Marlo gonna hold on to this boyfriend thing as long as she can. Now let's jump over to Ralph and Drew. So she's at home, and that wrap party is going to be that night. She's talking to Ralph, and Ralph is very curt. You know, he's very rude. He's Ralph, his regular self, okay? And he tell her, you know, you out there shooting movies, you know, he been busy too. He got work to do too. You know, when he come home from work, he be tired too. You know, everything is like what he goes through. He working hard and she out there shooting sex scenes. I was just like, are you jealous of your wife, Ralph? Like, what is happening? So he complains to her how she comes in late and that he can't sleep. So that's the reason why he has now moved out of the marital bedroom. Okay, he is now in a separate bedroom, and he was like, it feels good to him. He loves being in the other room. He gets his sleep. She come in, she be making all that damn noise. He ain't got to hear all of that. She asked him when is he coming back to the room now that the shoot is over. She's not doing the movie anymore, and he tells her he don't know. Okay, they start talking about Courtney, his cousin. Okay, and side note, I've been seeing the rumors. Actually, Sky Santana, I just saw your DM where you told me that, you know, the rumor is that Courtney is the side chick. Now, I didn't see that one coming. Okay, but the talk out there is that apparently Ralph and Courtney are not cousins, but instead that these two might be a couple messing around. She's the side chick, so that's the reason why she's kind of knowing a little bit more about what's going on with Ralph and Drew, because you guys see Courtney's been out there doing the interviews talking about how Drew was messing around with women, and you know that she's like bisexual and she's out there, and it's just sort of like, why you all in the business like this, cousin? Okay, that seems like a little bit more information that a cousin would even need to know or be involved in. So now I guess people are saying that Courtney and Ralph might be messing around. I don't know, you guys. But Courtney is definitely, she definitely has a lot to say about their relationship. But Drew, my problem with Drew, and I've told you guys this plenty of times, is that Drew doesn't know how to let shit go. Drew harps on things, and she continues to bring up shit that might be the most minuscule and makes a bigger deal out of it than it needs to be. So this whole thing about Courtney calling her a bitch. Okay, I understand some women don't like being called bitch. That's fine. You can definitely tell people, please don't call me bitch, even if we just laughing or joking. It might be like certain things bother me. I hate being called a diva. To me, it feels negative. So don't call me a diva. Okay. But you know how sometimes you be talking, you be, bitch, whatever, such and such, and you know, you don't really mean it like that when you say, fuck you, bitch. Okay, that means I'm calling you a bitch. But when I be like, bitch, bitch, please. Okay. You know how that can be a slip of the tongue. So this whole thing about Courtney calling her a bitch, when Courtney was just like, no, this bitch needs to know. I don't think Courtney was trying to directly call her a bitch, but of course Drew has made, you know, she keeps calling me a bitch. She calls me out of my name and it's okay. And you know, so this whole talk about Ralph not being mad that he called Drew a bitch, you know, because Ralph was like, she didn't call me no bitch. Okay, but Ralph, we're starting to see, has completely checked out of this whole thing. All right. Ralph has been checked out for a long time. So he wouldn't care about Drew being called a bitch by Courtney the way that he would have maybe if they, I mean, I don't even know if any man would ever care unless it was a direct fuck you bitch, like that. Okay. Now maybe it would be different, but just, bitch, whatever, bitch, you know. So anyway, Ralph, but Ralph obviously sees that it was upsetting Drew, and he just sort of was dismissive. So then she was just like, you know, if I don't rock with somebody, you don't rock with somebody. If you don't rock with somebody, I don't rock with somebody. It's okay that she called me a bitch, you know. So he was just sort of like, and I was just sitting there watching. These are the conversations that Ralph and Drew has that that gets on my nerves and makes us not really like Ralph. Okay. And I think that Drew knows that. And so I think that Drew knows Drew can be manipulative too. All right. So anyway, Drew gets up because she kind of frustrated with the conversation she's having with Ralph, and she goes into the kitchen. Now, of course, her family is there. Remember, Allison is there, and Allison looks like she is the fucking pit bull over Drew. Okay, it just took Allison a few minutes to get her bearings back, but now Allison is there. And of course, I've heard the rumors, that people are saying that Allison is actually Drew's mother, and that Drew's mother is actually the grandmother, and the reason why Allison and Drew, Allison is so protective over Drew is because that's her kid, but they never told Drew, or either Drew knew and is just not saying anything. But the mom is a pastor, the grandmother would be the grandmother, I guess, is a pastor. They're very deep in church, so they may have been trying to just hold on to this story like this. But y'all know Allison don't play about Drew. When Drew goes into the other room, Allison sees that Drew is upset that her and Ralph had got into it, over this whole bitch situation, and then Ralph and Allison get into it, and honey, Allison looking like she could punch Ralph. They get to arguing, and Drew starts crying. She was just like, it's too much. Like, please take this mic off of me. Like, can you guys cut the cameras off? Like, can you give us some space, But Drew is upset with Ralph. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you embarrassing me? Why are you saying these things on camera? Like, you are trying to make me look stupid on camera. You're making me look embarrassed and all of this, and this. And so I just was sitting there looking like, this is bad to catch this kind of shit on camera. When your marriage is falling apart, the last thing that you need is for it to be documented for the whole world to see. So I'm feeling sorry for them, because I was just like, it's clear that things are really, really bad, because Ralph really don't care about Drew. Like, he's aggravated with her for some reason. And I guess we're going to see as this review goes on. Okay, but it's clear that Ralph is aggravated with Drew, and he's trying to get back at her without saying exactly what it is. It's just very, very tense. It's actually embarrassing. Like Drew said, it is embarrassing just to watch all this play out. They got a lot of drama going on in that household. So they decide to go see the counselor. She says that they need to address their marriage because they just hanging on by a string. So they sit down with the counselor, and she says that she feels like, she doesn't feel like they are really a unit, like a true together husband and wife having each other's back kind of unit. And she was like, I've been working on my, we haven't been working on our marriage, but I guess Ralph has been working on himself. Ralph was like, yeah, I feel pretty good. I've been going to my therapy. I moved out the room because Drew be coming home in the middle of the night and making all this noise and everything. So I done moved into the other bedroom, and it feels liberating. Like, I get sleep and everything, And so Drew said, well, it's not good that he moved to the other room, because even the kids are noticing, and they're asking, the kids ain't know. She was like, why would I lie about that? Like, I can show you the text message where they was like, why is daddy in the other room? Okay. And he didn't seem to think that the kids would notice that he's sleeping in a different room. So he was just like, even the kid had said in the text message that one of the kids wanted to sleep with Ralph, and Ralph told him no. So they were upset. So obviously the kids know he's sleeping in the other room. He kind of downplay, whatever, that's not what it is, and all of this. And I was just like, oh my God, he is so, I don't know how you would be able to have a conversation with Ralph, because he is so, he's just awful. He's awful. I don't know what other word to put. So he feels like they can win you know, the way that things are going right now, you know, that they ain't got to be in the bedroom together. You know, they can still, he know other couples, you know. As a matter of fact, they got friends that the husband moved out the room, you know, and everything was good. And Drew was like, yeah, and they also filed for a divorce. He was like, well, who hasn't filed for a divorce? You know, who's married? Okay, well, maybe a lot of people haven't filed for divorce, Ralph. Okay. But again, I think that he's doing all of this to just really piss off Drew, because he's mad, but he can't really, he's not, for whatever reason, really saying, oh, Drew is out there fucking around with other people. He's got Courtney to do that now. So the counselor is just like, I mean, is there somebody that you really want to be with? Like, cause listen, the counselor ain't got this kind of time to be wasting. Okay, am I still gonna be counseling you two as a married couple? Because it looked like Ralph has already decided to go on his own path. All right, that's what the counselor could have said. That's what he should have said, because it's obvious that these two, yeah, they're the togetherness is not there anymore. But anyways, you guys, jumping over to the wrap party. So, you know, Candy's getting ready. We find out it's going to be like 200 people there. I think Todd said he only wanted around 100 people, so it's going to be a lot of people at this wrap party. The party is going to be cute. They have it set up really cute. And when you first walk into the venue, you know, they've got like a Hollywood, you know, Walk of Fame. They've got the little stars out there that has the names of the people that's in the actual movie, the past, you know, leading up to it and all. So very, very cute. Drew is excited, and Drew says that Ralph knows how to play the part of the happy husband. So yes, he is definitely going to show up and, you know, support her at this event and make it seem like he's the happy husband, the supportive husband, always there in Drew's corner. He's just so strange to me. I was just like, it's amazing that they've tried to hold on to this relationship as long as they have. Anyway, Candy is telling the girls, as everybody starts to trickle in slowly, that, you know, Drew is going to be performing. She is singing tonight, and that Drew has really been doing her thing. So, you know, the women start trickling in. We got Kenya there. We got Cynthia there. We got Sonia there. You know, everybody is starting to show up. And speaking of Sonia, while she's there, she mentions that she's having cramping. So, you know, that's never good, especially that early in your pregnancy. Mama Joyce shows up, sees Cynthia. You know, Mama Joyce, oh, where y'all ring? You know how Mama Joyce, and Mama Joyce, you know good and damn well this girl is not with hashtag chill no more, you know. So Cynthia's like, yeah, I got a divorce, so there's going to be no ring on. I wonder if Cynthia will be back next season, you guys. What do you guys think? Cynthia is one of those people that I can be fine with if she was there or not. You know, Cynthia don't make too much of a difference either way it goes for me. So anyway, Candy is getting a kick out of still always bringing up to the ladies how, you know, Drew did the damn thing in the movie, and that Drew was acting like she was so nervous about being with this woman in the movie, and that she didn't have no problem, and she was tonguing the ladies down and all of that. Of course, while all Candy is giving this speech, we see Drew hug Ty, who is Mimi's ex-fiance, okay, the basketball player out here in Atlanta. We see Drew hug Ty, and I was just like, now Drew, now you have Ty there, and there's rumor that you're having an affair with her. Did you not think that the people was gonna find out about this? Like, maybe you should have kept your side boo away from the rap party. But I guess maybe they thought that they wouldn't catch it. Like, I don't know. But Ty definitely is there. Courtney even shows up. I thought it was hilarious when Courtney tried to hug Allison, and Allison was like, back the fuck up. Like, don't come touch me. All right. And Courtney was just like, oh, okay. Yeah, you better stay away from Allison, because, honey, I feel like Allison got a two-piece waiting for somebody. She clearly looks like the type that will fight. Okay? So y'all better don't push Allison. So Courtney was just like, okay, well, so that we don't ruin the moment, let's just go outside, you know, let's go to the side so we can talk. So all Allison want to know is, did you call my sister a bitch? And she was just like, I mean, I said bitch, but I wasn't really calling her a bitch. You know, Courtney was trying to explain to her like how it all went down. So she apologizes, you know, to Allison, but the whole thing is just stupid, because like I said, even if the girl called you a bitch. It don't require us to talk about it every single time we all get together and you to be this upset about it and all of that. So I'm just like, Drew is holding on to that bitch thing so that Courtney can look bad, and hopefully we can get rid of Courtney's ass next season. So Courtney is just like, what is going on? Like, she's over it. The sisters all jumping on her and everything. Like, she's just going to move on from them. So all this is going on. Marlo shows up. Marlo says that she's going to be on her act right. Sheree shows up. Okay, so the gang is all here. And side note, Sheree's hair. That blonde pulled up into a ponytail with these bangs and all, awful. She needs to never not do that again. It's such a not a cute look for her. And it's juvenile. She's too old and too sharp and too put together to be walking around looking like that. So please retire that. And y'all know I hate that hairdo where it's a ponytail here, and I don't like that style anyway. So anyway, they show the trailer. And the trailer is all hot. Candy said that they had just finished shooting, but they still was able to get together a trailer that would be, good enough for everybody to be excited, to show at this party. Okay, anyway, Drew gets up there to sing. All right, and they've got fireworks and everything, child. They done pulled out all the stops for old Drew, and she looks good. And of course, Ralph is out there, cheering his wife on. And Ty is out there too. And so, yeah, Drew sings her song, Already Know, or whatever. And, yeah. So anyway, Candy is happy. She says things are going very well in her life, and then they start showing the closing credits, when they talk about everybody's little closing story. So Candy's is that even though she did not win the Tony, she's still on the quest for the EGOT, but they are going to be producing The Wiz. That's their newest play that they're producing. So, some things may turn around for her then. We see Sheree in her closing remarks that her fibroids have shrunk. Okay, she didn't get a hysterectomy. She took the homeopathic route, remember? So that seems to be helping her. So good for her. And then they showed Marlo. Marlo's closing remarks was that she's still dating Scott Lee and that she's still trying to get her record expunged. And then we see Kenya now. They showed little clips of Kenya Moore Hair Care, the salon being open, but they didn't show, apparently it was a whole big ass event. The place is beautiful. I saw the pictures that Kenya put onto her Instagram, but Kenya is pissed that they did not show her opening on the show. I said, bravo. What is going on? Are y'all about to get rid of Kenya? Is Kenya going to leave the show? Something is going on there. And then Drew said that she feels triumphant. So that is where production stopped shooting Real Housewives of Atlanta season 15. That was at the end of January. Then we see them fast forward to March 1st. And they say that's when the rumors came out that Drew and Ralph had both filed for divorce. Okay, that they had raced each other to the courthouse, and one filed for divorce an hour before the other. I think Drew filed an hour before Ralph, but first they said that he filed first. But anyway, we see now it's in March, and the ladies are seeing it on on social media, like, oh my God, like, do you see this? These two are filed for divorce. They're about to get a divorce. Marlo is talking to Sheree about it. Kenya sees it. Sonya sees it. But Marlo tells Sheree that online they're saying that she's messing with Ty, Mimi's ex-fiance. Marlo is just like, she made a big deal about kissing a girl, and here they saying that she in a relationship with this woman. And then they show a clip where Manetta says that Drew's told her that if it don't work out with Ralph, that she gonna get with her crush. And Manetta asked her who was her crush, and she said Ty. I don't think Manetta would lie. Okay. And so now I'm looking at Drew like, Drew, now I know you was crying and upset and everything earlier, but you also had Ty at the rap party. And unless Ty is at the movie, why is she in the movie? I guess she lives here in Atlanta. She's part of the little crowd out here. But you had Ty at your damn rap party. Okay? Ty was apparently on the set as well. Now you got rumors saying that you messing around with Ty And now I'm just looking at Drew like, okay, Drew. Now we was feeling so bad. Like we all can't stand Ralph. Ralph is still trash. Okay, Ralph is still disgusting. All right. But now I'm looking at Drew too, because did you guys see when production told her that information was out? Now she had then went from the crying, broke down Drew to the kind of laughing, sort of like, what? It's all over the internet? Really? Like, what are they saying? Okay, I was just like, no, where was all this woe is me and this crying and shit that you was just doing a few minutes ago? But now that the story is out about you and Ty, you kind of getting a kick out of this. And I'm like looking at Drew like, I don't give a fuck if Drew is bisexual, if she gay, she straight. I don't care. Okay? The whole thing is, though, you're not going to be sitting up here pulling the wool over our eyes because now you want us to feel sorry for you. And and Ralph has treated her horrible on TV, but maybe we start to see why Ralph probably was acting that way, because it done got all bad now. And Ralph probably knew about Ty. Okay? Because if Courtney knows all this, then Ralph knew. And so now I'm just looking at this whole thing like, I don't know who to believe. Because Drew was definitely not emotional, not upset about none of them rumors that was floating around. And if she was so protective of her being like this, on the straight and narrow, not gay, totally straight, and all of that, then it would, I'm just like, I can't believe Drew either. So yeah, anyway, they're like, she made a big deal about kissing a girl and here she is with Ty. So that was Drew's little closeout story. We see Sonya ends up having a miscarriage. She said that it was a pretty bad miscarriage as well. She found out before she was supposed to travel somewhere that she was going to probably, that the baby was no longer viable. Okay. And she had told Dr. Jackie that they would do a D&C when she got back from traveling, but then she ended up having the miscarriage while she was out of town. She ended up passing a baby, which is very traumatizing. And so she, is upset now because she's not pregnant one, and then she had to break it to Ducey, and she didn't want to tell him, but then she felt like she needed to tell him because every night he comes and rubs her stomach and says a prayer like, Lord, please let my baby sister be delivered, well or whatever. And the poor kid you should have never told the kid. No 3, 4, 5, Ducey probably about 5. No 5-year-old should be that involved in it at that point, because things can happen. And sure enough, she had to tell him that the baby didn't make it, and he was very upset. That's traumatizing for a kid too. I'm sure he'll get over it, but what I'm saying is it's just better to not even, let's just make sure that we can get past the dangerous stage first. But the good news is that Sonya and Ross were able to get pregnant again, and it looks like she's about to have that. She looks like she's in the last trimester anyway. Then we see 5 days after filing for divorce from each other, Drew is on the phone with Kenya. Kenya's telling her that she's going to be there in her corner, like if whatever she needs to just let her know. And then Sheree comes there to visit her as well. And Sheree is telling her, that she's been through this before. She's been through a public divorce. They are no fun. She would not wish that on anybody. Even with the shit that her and Drew have been through, she already knows that it's about to be tough for Drew. So, she feels for her. And she says she's been going through a lot too. Her father, because Drew's father is sick. So Drew, he just recently passed. But at the time of the show, the father was sick. So the mom had to leave. And then Sheree said, yeah, my father too. My father actually just died like 2 days ago. And Drew was like, wait a minute, what? And then Sheree starts crying like, yeah. And I was just like, oh my God, there's a whole lot going on, right? So Sheree had to kind of get hustled out of there because I don't think Sheree wanted to cry and talk about it on the camera. And so, yeah. But anyway, they bring Drew in there to do her confessional. This is her in front of the green screen, when they do their one-on-ones or whatever. They also have Ralph there. And so they're asking them both about the divorce, and Ralph was like, let me call my lawyer, am I able to talk about this, that, and the other? And the lawyer's like, no. Okay, so the lawyer kind of shut Ralph down, like you can't say certain things. I guess they want to save that for the actual lawsuit, the case. But you can tell that Ralph is pissed. Okay, Ralph is mad about certain things he's not really saying, but of course he has his mouthpiece, Courtney. And Courtney tells us how Drew met Ty on the set, and Drew been messing around with Ty all this time, and they've been hanging and all of that. Drew, even when they asked Drew about Ty, you know, Drew is sort of kind of like, just kind of coy, and just sort of like, you know, I met her on the set, and she doesn't mention anything about kissing her or even dating her, but her demeanor definitely changed. Like, all of that crying and all of that, when Ty talk was going around, she definitely kind of had that little look on her face like, you know. So that's why I said I don't really know what to believe when it comes to Drew and Ralph. I believe that Drew and Ralph are not going to be together, even though on their closing statements it says that Drew and Ralph still live in the same house together and that they're raising their kids, but they are still going through this divorce. She said that Ralph was making up allegations of her messing with Ty, but I was just like, Drew is definitely seeing Ty, because not only are people on the show saying that Drew is messing with Ty, but people off the show is saying that, because even Rashida just recently said that Ty and Drew are hanging and vibing with each other. Okay? So Drew and Ty are definitely, there's something going on there. And that's why I said now I don't even know how to even take Drew. I understand that she doesn't want to she didn't want to play that card or whatever, but I like everybody lying. Like, I feel like Drew and Ralph are both liars. Okay. And I think that they are both manipulative. And, it could have gotten this way because their marriage was falling apart. So, you know, maybe Ralph was tripping so much that Drew started doing her own thing. You know, that happens too. But what I'm saying is, at this point, both of them is probably doing something else. Okay? And maybe it is best that we just break this shit up. But, yeah, so the reunion should be good with this lead in from Drew and Ralph anyway. I think that they still are the biggest parts of the stories, because otherwise, what they about to argue about on a reunion? What even is there to discuss at a reunion this season? I just honestly don't know. Nothing seemed to really have happened. Okay? But maybe we'll know better when the reunion happens next week, child. But I'm just looking at this whole thing like, I mean, the setup for this reunion, I honestly couldn't even tell you what they would talk about. Hopefully the reunion is just 2 parts. Is it supposed to be 3 again? Because what are we about to do for 3 parts? 2 parts seem like that would be just enough. All right, you guys, that's it. Let me get off of here and get this edited and get it up to you. Guys, make sure that you thumbs up the video, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm Roxanne. The channel is itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Goodbye.